This is the rather strangely named VABS D5000. It is a 1080p projector that is entry level, coming in at around £220 here in the UK. It is 1080p but can take a signal up to 4K. It also has a 10-watt speaker inside, as well as a ton of smart features including Bluetooth and Wi-Fi support. But the question is, just how good can a projector be for that entry level price? Well, today we're going to unbox it, find out exactly what we get in the box, also do a really quick setup before we do a full review, and I let you know why I've bought this and the reason I'm going to be using it moving forwards. So here we are with the projector box itself. As mentioned, this is £220 on Amazon right now, and I'll leave a link in the description down below if you want to pick one up for yourself. Looking at the box though, it's a pretty nice box and fairly unassuming. You do see exactly what you get in the box on the side here. So we of course do get the projector, a nice little carry bag, as well as a 100-inch screen, which is pretty nice. That's not something that I've seen with projectors before, especially in this price range. Flipping it over, we do get some of the information about it as well, but basically, in short, it is a cinema-based projector that has a really nice amount of speakers inside of it as well. There is a 10-watt speaker in here, about 600 lumens, and it also mentions some of those smart features as well, including Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. So you can connect this up to both your Android and iOS phone and mirror directly to the projector. So there's no need for anything extra, like, let's say, a Kindle Fire TV stick. So let's go ahead and take off this outer sleeve and reveal the white box that is inside, if I don't bash the camera. So here we are. It's showing on one side the screen and the bag that we get, as well as on the other the projector itself. But let's stop looking at the box and actually open it up and see exactly what this bag and projector is like. So the first thing we see is actually that 100-inch simple projection screen. Let me flip that around there. So that's pretty nice. 100 inches is fairly large in size, and I'm guessing we're going to have a load of mounting equipment in here as well to get this mounted to a wall. Now, my walls are all white, so I actually don't need a projection screen like this. But if you don't have white walls, then projection screens are really useful. Under that, we just have the bag itself. So let's pull it out, get the box out of the way, and take a look at this bag. This is actually a really nice bag. I'm quite impressed by the quality of this bag. It seems to be really nicely well padded. We have the VABS logo there. We also have a side pocket, as well as some space in the back here for the instruction manual or anything else you may want to carry. So actually, I'm pretty impressed by the case alone, especially for that £220 price range. Let's have a look in the side pocket first before we get to the main projector. We of course do have an instruction manual. You shouldn't need this instruction manual. It should be fairly self-explanatory exactly how you set this projector up, but if you do need it, it is here. Yep, so here's all that mounting brackets and information for the screen. So there appears to be some N3 tape in there, as well as some string and rope as well to help you attach it all up. As I say, I probably won't be using the 100-inch display, but it's there if you do need it. We of course do get the power lead here, which is just a standard UK power lead, nothing particularly interesting about it. I suppose one thing to note is it is quite a long cable, so actually you could probably have this in your ceiling and not have to worry too much about its length or how far away you are from a plug socket. And finally, we do have the VABS remote here. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm not a massive fan of remotes. I am always losing remotes, and they're just not particularly user-friendly, are they? So looking at this one, we have a ton of different buttons, from skipping tracks to volume along the bottom here. But let's see. Pushing down, we do see that it takes two AAA batteries that aren't included, so do make sure that you have batteries before you purchase this. I'm just going to throw that on the floor as we move on to the main projector itself. And there we have it. It is quite a beefy looking projector. Let's pull it all the way out and see if there's anything else in this bag of note. There isn't. There is a nice little pocket on the inside as well, but as you can see, it is all really nicely padded. I'm really impressed with the bag alone. So here is the projector itself. It is super duper simple. There appears to be a little focus wheel on the front here, as well as you've just noticed there that's been pushed off the lens protector. There appears to only be one button on the top for powering it. So actually, when it comes to connecting and using the device, you're going to have to use that remote. I do not like using remotes, and I'm really disappointed that there's no other extra controls on the top here. So if I lose that remote, I'm pretty stuck. Looking at the side, there is a ton of ventilation on both sides. I have heard that the fan can be a little bit noisy on this, but we'll find out all about that in 1 second. Taking a look at the back, we have a little wheel here which can adjust 15 degrees either direction, so that just helps with when you are trying to prop it up somewhere. In terms of inputs at the back here, we have a PC RGB, we have a couple of audio inputs, 2 USBs. I would suspect those are going to be for powering devices such as Fire Sticks, or you could potentially plug in a USB device with all your media already on it, as well as 2 HDMIs. So that really is all you get. On the bottom, there appears to be another button here. Originally, when I saw this, I thought it was going to be for turning the projector on and off if it was mounted slightly higher, but it's not. It is, in fact, for this little foot here. So this foot can just sit like that, and you can project it as far up or as far down as you need. That's really nice to have it in like a little button. You get a little bit more control as to how far you want to push this up. So there we go, that's really nice. On the front, we do obviously see that main projector bulb itself. As I mentioned earlier, this is 600 lumens, so it's fairly bright, but it's not going to be the brightest projector, particularly in daylight settings. We also have the IR little receiver here. You can actually see that mine is slightly indented into the device. I don't think it's meant to be. It just looks like it was knocked potentially and is kind of half in this device. It does still work though. Let's just peel off some of the plastic from that IR receiver. And we could go ahead and get this thing plugged in. And we'll try out some of those Wi-Fi features that are enabled on this projector. So obviously, in order to give this projector enough of a fighting chance, I have just turned off as many of the lights as possible. Just powering it on. You do get a lovely startup sound. And we can hear that fan kicking in already. It is quite a loud fan, I will admit. So let's go ahead and do some adjustments and make sure that we are just projecting enough onto this wall that we are ready to use it. So first off, we can just rotate that wheel on the front to get enough of a nice view. Then we'll also have to pop it up slightly. So let's press that button on the bottom. There we go. It's not at a great angle, I will admit, but for now this should do until I find a more permanent spot for it. So I can press the menu button on the projector and we can see quite a lot of blurring around the outside, so we can just adjust. There we go. Let's just keep going until we find something that appears to be just right. So that should do for now. In terms of display, we have quite a few options. We have PC, whiteboard, movie, so we could project this onto a whiteboard if we really wanted to. In terms of audio, we've got volume and such. Image, we've got aspect ratio, as well as projection HDMI range, as well as a few other options as well. So let's go on to Bluetooth and actually turn the Bluetooth on. Because what this does mean is we can use its inbuilt speakers as a Bluetooth speaker, or we can push the audio out from this to another Bluetooth device such as a soundbar. What I do want to do is enable Wi-Fi mode. So if I press back, we can see a load of different options here, including going to that PC, HDMI 1 and 2, as well as screen mirroring and different medias on the USB sticks. So let's actually go over to screen mirroring. And I'm guessing it's going to give us some kind of instruction as to how we do that. Here we go. I've connected up my iPad here, and we can see that it doesn't look amazing. This probably still needs quite a lot of adjustment to get it looking just right. We can see that maybe it is our contrast. So what we can do is we can go into the menu and change some of those image settings. We'll go back up to display and we'll choose movie mode. Go all the way back. That's looking a little bit better. Let's jump into YouTube and try and push a YouTube video to the projector here. We can go into my YouTube channel, and if you're not subscribed yet, now is a great time to do so. So of course this is using AirPlay, so there is a slight delay, but you can see that actually the quality of the projector is pretty good, especially for that £220 price point. Let's go ahead and just do a little bit more adjustment with that contrast there. Let's use the user and pull the contrast all the way up or a little higher, and we can see that that is too bright now. So we can just keep playing with all of these different values until we find something that we think is right. So that's getting better. The colour needs to be brought up a little bit. I am distinctly missing quite a lot of the colour from this image. So I can see this being a projector that's going to require quite a lot of work to get just right. That's already looking a little bit better than it did before, but we can continue to play with this and get it just right for us. So we can see the little projector down here, and you can probably hear some of that noise that's coming out of it. It is a noisy old projector. And let's start up a video at the same time.
What is up, everybody? My name is Robert and this is Review. So today is a couple of days before my holiday, and instead of actually packing...
And as we can hear there, that actually, if you're going to be using the inbuilt audio on this projector, you are going to struggle to hear some of it just because of the noise of that fan. It is not exactly a quiet fan, which is why we have that Bluetooth control to connect up to external devices. Anyway, let's go back to me for a little bit of an outro, and I can talk a little bit about why I decided to buy this projector and when you can expect to see a full review. So there we have it. That is what you get for your £220 with the VABS D5000. Now you're probably wondering, why did I buy a projector? Well, I've got a wedding coming up. Me and my partner are getting married in March next year, and I am super excited. One of the many things that I did request during our wedding was I wanted to try and tech it out as much as possible, because tech is an enormous part of my life. So I purchased an entry-level projector in the hopes that I can projection map onto our wedding cake. What is projection mapping? Well, it is projecting onto an object that it is mapped to. So we're going to have 3-tiered square wedding cake, which I'm going to be projecting onto with either different pictures or maybe even different colours. With the idea being that it's going to look different over time. So we can fade between different photos of me and my partner, or we could have colours that potentially even use something like a Microsoft Kinect that are going to work out the depth, and as we take a slice out of that cake, it's going to change its colour. It's all pretty fun and interesting stuff, and it's a little bit quirky. If you want to see a video of me trying to set all of this up and showing you through some of the process of doing this kind of projection mapping, then let me know in the comment section down below and get subscribed as well. I genuinely do think this is a perfect little projector to do it with, because it's cheap enough, it has a big enough throw, and is bright enough to be able to do this sort of performance without breaking the bank. Anyway guys, let me know what you thought of this projector in the comments section down below. And of course, while you're down there, get subscribed, get liking, get sharing, and all of that good stuff. My name's been Robert, this has been Clue, and I will catch you in the next one. Adios.